Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So, today I'm talking about something, I don't know, it feels a bit different because usually I talk about, I don't know, like wellness and happiness and spirituality and all that jazz, but today I just wanted to talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot. So basically, about a year ago, I read this book, Sapiens. It's a really good book. I borrowed it off my friend, I still need to give it back to him. But in it, he talks a lot about how the human imagination and, you know, how developed our imagination is and how that has led to us developing society. I just feel like that makes no sense. I'm talking about how society basically is made up and how loads of things within society are just completely based on imagination and ideas and myths that we've created. You know, they don't intrinsically and inherently exist independently, but we kind of treat them as if they do. So all these aspects of society, we attach them so strongly and see them as a complete objective fact when they're not. Okay, so I don't know if that made sense. I'm going to give an example. So, say with money, it's just kind of an agreed fact in society that an £100 note is going to get you more loaves of bread, is going to get you more food than a £10 note. But it's all made up, like we've just put the value on that plastic. You know, the plastic isn't actually inherently worth more, that's just the idea that we've kind of placed on it, projected onto it. You know, but it's not actually true. But our whole society is a massive part of our society. It's a massive part of who we are, and it really dictates our life a lot, you know, but it's kind of made up. But, you know, so it's a lot of things. It's not just money, although money is a really big example. You know, social norms, beauty standards, wealth, reputation, your aspirations, your desires in life are all heavily based on these imagined myths and these imagined ideas in society. Society is based on loads of them. So we take them to be objectively true, when in fact their existence completely depends on our belief in them. So if no one believed that an £100 note could buy you more things than a £10 note and you could exchange it for more things than a £10 note, then it wouldn't be that way, you know? But it's just something that is a given in our society, but that's just how it is. But it's not, it's only that way because we all believe that it's that way, or we all pretend and act like it's that way. It's like a big game, you know, it's just pretend. It's not actually worth that, it's just what we think. But it shapes our entire lives, all these imagined structures in society as well. So it's an imagined kind of need in life, or something that you should do is that you should get an education, you should then go to college or university or get an apprenticeship or get a job, and then get a job in any part of this society, and then you can help build this imagined society. And it's all, that's just how it works, that's just what's expected of you. But again, that's just a completely imagined thing. That's just something that we imagine. I don't know how else to word it, but yeah, it shapes our entire lives. But everything, like, why is it that we place this hierarchy on things, that this thing is better than this thing, that a Chanel bag is better than a Primark bag? Like, why is that? It's because of wealth, and that in itself is an imagined thing. And the brands and the labels, it's all imagined. But why? But we attach so strongly to it, and it's so ingrained within us because we're taught it from a young age through everything, through media, through education, through advertising, through everything. It's just completely enforced in everything we do, that it's just so in us that we just think that's how it is. It's just mad. But we take it to define who we are, or who we think we are, you know. What we buy, what we do in the society adds to how we identify ourselves. But it's so fragile because it's all imagined, and it depends on everyone believing in it. And if no one believed in it, it would just fall apart. It would completely fall apart, you know. If everyone just stopped putting value on money, then it wouldn't have any value. I know that would be impossible, but that is what it is. And something that he speaks about in Sapiens is that how our imagination has helped us, and is maybe the primary reason that humans have developed and become the most dominant species on Earth, you know, because other animals can imagine things, like monkeys and all of them ones, but not to the same extent that we can. And you know, we create massive, elaborate, imaginary things, imaginary structures, political structures, economic structures, that we all trust in and depend on and take to be true. And they dictate our lives, and they're massive. And with in that book, he also states that it's because of that we work in such large groups, because we have these mutual beliefs that we identify with, that we then, you know, we have that familiarity. Don't know if I said that right, but we have that with other people who also have this mutual belief system, you know, and it brings us together. But it feels so real. All these things like that, they are real because they affect our lives, you know, we can't just pretend that they don't exist. But they're so strong because they actually have these imagined things that have come from our mind. You know, all these imaginary structures that we take so seriously. Even though they come from our mind through like generations and hundreds and thousands of years, but they have physical existence as well. So money doesn't just exist within our minds, but it also exists physically with, you know, a £10 note or a £100 note. And fashion and brands don't just exist in our mind, they do also exist physically, so it's easier to attach to them and see them as an inherently real thing. Also they affect us emotionally, so our wants and our desires, we think, come from deep within us, and we think they are who we are, but really they've been ingrained within us through society, through all these imagined things. We're told what desires to have and what we want, and we think that they're so independent to us, but they're not. They come from these imagined things, and it's why consumerism is so successful. That's an imagined order in which we think that we lack something, so therefore we need to buy something else. But yeah, I really hope that I'm making sense, but I feel like I'm not. But with all these imagined things, like fashion, we create these imaginary social groups and subgroups of things we identify with. So you might be, I don't know, I've spoken about this in a video I made ages ago about ego, but we create these subgroups in which we can identify with and be familiar with other people, but then it creates the illusion of separateness. So there's a group of people who all like the same music, the same fashion, they have the same ideas about these imagined concepts, you know, about money. They might identify as a hippie or something else. And then we create these subgroups that therefore divide us. But again, that's just all an illusion because it's based on the imagined order. It's based on these imaginary things anyway. It's just made up. It's a human invention that we've created from our imagination over thousands of years, in my opinion. But yeah, and then because of this, because our culture and stuff is so strong and so ingrained within us, we take it to be so true, in that we think our culture, you know, we're so attached to our culture and we struggle to fully comprehend other cultures that might be really different to ours and have completely different belief systems and outlooks, because it's different to ours, because we take ours to be true. But if we can release our attachment to our own cultures and imagined aspects of society, then we could cultivate open-mindedness and try and understand other cultures more. But yeah, I just really hope that I'm making at least some kind of sense in that, you know, just in saying that the way our society has evolved is that it's got all these imagined, I've said the word imagined so many times, but I can't, it's created, it's based on opinion, on belief, and imagination. And then we attach to it, we identify ourselves with it, we believe it to be inherently true and objectively true, and anything else to not be objectively true, when it's not. You know, it depends on our belief in it to exist. And realising that it's just a belief will help. And it's so fragile, like we have these expectations, and COVID has shown us that when these expectations are taken away from us, say we have an expectation that we'll work all week and then go to the pub on a Friday, we can't do that anymore. But that's just an imagined structure within society. That's an example of, and something that we're attached to that we perceive to be real, you know, that's just how it is. But when it's taken away from us, we realise our attachment to it, that it's not an inherently real thing, it's dependent on so many things. But yeah, I'm going to end it there. I feel like I was talking fast and I said a lot of things. So I hope I made some sense. It was talking about something different that I don't usually talk about, but I just found it interesting, so I thought I'd share it. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. You have a great day, and if you enjoyed the video then subscribe, that would make my day. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.